Welcome to Troubleshooting Common Monitoring Scenarios. Learn to spot and solve frequent monitoring alerts. This means identifying common warning signs in your SAP BTP applications and knowing the immediate steps to fix them. For instance, if you get a high memory usage alert, you would check for and stop any memory leaks. Mastering this skill keeps your applications running smoothly and prevents major issues. Practice step-by-step problem solving. This means breaking down issues into smaller, manageable steps to identify and resolve them methodically. For example, if an application isn't logging data, first check the service binding, then verify the logging service is running, and finally review the application code. Consistently applying this approach ensures efficient and reliable issue resolution. Build confidence in handling system issues. This means gaining the skills to systematically identify and resolve problems without panic. For example, when an application's performance slows, you'd check metrics like response times and resource usage to pinpoint the cause. Mastering these steps ensures you can maintain system stability effectively. Effective troubleshooting is critical for business continuity. Quickly fixing problems reduces system downtime. This means when technical issues are resolved fast, your SAP systems and applications stay available and functional for users. For instance, if a payroll calculation error occurs, rapid troubleshooting ensures employees get paid on time without disruption. This maintains business continuity and user trust in your IT operations. Helps keep your applications running smoothly. This means quickly identifying and fixing issues before they disrupt service. For example, if a sales report fails to generate, troubleshooting finds the data connection error and restores it. This proactive approach ensures your business processes remain reliable and uninterrupted. Improves how fast you can resolve future issues. This means each problem you solve teaches you patterns, so next time you recognize them faster. For example, if a deployment fails due to a memory quota, you will check that first next time. This builds your expertise, making you quicker and more effective with every issue you handle. Common monitoring patterns to recognize. Performance slowdowns in applications. This means your app is responding much slower than usual, taking longer to load or process user requests. For example, a sales report that usually generates in seconds now takes several minutes. Recognizing this pattern early is crucial for maintaining a positive user experience and application reliability. Unexpected errors in logs. This means finding error messages in your system's log files that you did not anticipate and do not recognize. For instance, a user login process that usually works suddenly fails and generates a new, unknown error. Recognizing these quickly is essential for maintaining system stability. Resource usage spikes. This is when your application suddenly consumes far more memory, processing power, or storage than usual. For instance, an e-commerce app might experience a massive surge in CPU usage during a flash sale. Recognizing these spikes early is crucial for maintaining system stability and performance. Connectivity failures to services. This means your application cannot reach required SAP BTP services like authentication or a database. For instance, an online store might fail to process orders because it cannot connect to the payment service. Recognizing this quickly is essential for restoring functionality. Access monitoring information across these key locations. Open the SAP BTP cockpit. This is your main web-based tool to see the health and status of your applications and services. For instance, if your app is running slowly, you open the cockpit to check resource usage and logs. Always start your monitoring here for a complete overview. Navigate to the monitoring section. This means going to the specific area in SAP BTP where you can check the health and performance of your applications and services. For instance, if your app is running slowly, you go there to view logs and metrics. This is your central hub for all operational insights. Check alerts and metrics for your applications. This means you monitor your app's health and performance using data and notifications. For example, if your sales app slows down, you'd check its metrics to find the cause. Staying on top of this helps ensure your applications run smoothly and reliably. Review service-specific dashboards. This means checking the unique monitoring screens for each SAP BTP service you use, which display its health and performance. For example, the SAP HANA Cloud Service has its own dashboard showing database connections and query performance. Always consult these dashboards first to quickly assess your service status. Step 1. Identify the alert. Look for red or yellow indicators in the cockpit. This means checking the SAP BTP dashboard for any colored warnings that signal problems or needed attention. For instance, a yellow indicator might show your application's memory is running low. Always address these alerts promptly to maintain system health. Read the alert message carefully. This means you must thoroughly examine the entire alert text, not just skim it. For instance, if you receive an alert stating service XSUA in space dev is nearing its quota, you need to read it fully to understand which service and space are affected. Always start by fully understanding the alert details to proceed correctly. Note which service or application is affected. This means pinpointing exactly which part of your SAP system is experiencing the issue. For example, if users cannot log in, you would identify the Cloud Identity Service. Determining the affected component is the crucial first step toward a resolution. Check when the alert started. This means looking at the exact date and time the alert was first triggered in your system. For example, if a performance alert began at 2:00 p.m., you know to review system activities around that specific time. Pinpointing this moment is crucial for effective troubleshooting. Step 2. Gather basic information. Check recent changes or updates. This means reviewing any new features, patches, or modifications to SAP BTP services before you proceed. For example, before deploying an app, verify if the Cloud Foundry runtime has a new mandatory security setting. Staying updated prevents errors and ensures your project uses the latest capabilities. Look at application logs for errors. This means checking system records where all application activities are documented. For example, if your app cannot process orders, the log might show a database connection failure. Always review these logs first to pinpoint exactly what went wrong in your system. Verify resource usage, CPU, memory, storage. This means checking how much of your system's processing power, working space, and data capacity is being used. For example, if your application is running slowly, you might discover it is using 90% of its memory. Regular checks ensure your BTP applications run efficiently and avoid unexpected issues. Confirm service availability and connectivity. This means checking that the SAP BTP service you need is active and can communicate with other systems. For example, before using an integration service, verify it is running and can connect to your on-premise SAP system. This foundational step ensures your project can proceed without technical interruptions. Step 3. Analyze possible causes. Is it a performance issue? This means checking if the system is slow or unresponsive. For example, if a report that usually takes seconds now takes minutes, that indicates a performance problem. Identifying such slowdowns is essential for maintaining efficient operations. Could it be a configuration error? This means a setting in the system might be incorrect, like a wrong parameter or option selected. For instance, an integration flow might fail because the destination URL was typed inaccurately. Always verify your setup details first, as this is a frequent source of issues. Is there a network or connectivity problem? This means checking if your application can communicate with other services or the internet. For example, if your app cannot retrieve weather data from an external API, the network connection might be blocked. Always verify connectivity early, as it is a frequent source of issues. Are resources running out? This means checking if your application is consuming too much memory, storage, or processing power. For instance, a shopping app might slow down on a sale day because its server CPU usage hits 100%. Always monitor your resource consumption to prevent such performance bottlenecks. Proceed with applying basic fixes. Restart the affected application if safe. This means turning the app off and on again, but only when no one is using it for critical work. For example, if a reporting tool shows old data, a safe restart can refresh it. This simple step often resolves temporary glitches efficiently. Adjust resource limits if needed. This means increasing or decreasing the allowed memory, storage, or processing power for your application or service. For example, if your app is running slowly, you might increase its memory limit to improve performance. Properly setting these limits ensures your solutions run efficiently and reliably. Check and update configurations. This means verifying your SAP BTP service settings are correct and match your requirements. For instance, if an application cannot connect to a database, you would check the destination configuration for the correct URL and credentials. Ensuring your configurations are accurate resolves many common issues quickly. Verify dependencies are available. This means ensuring all required software components your app relies on are present and accessible. For example, if your app needs a specific library to connect to a database, confirm it is properly installed. This foundational check prevents many common runtime failures. Step 5. Verify the solution is functioning correctly. Monitor the alert status in the cockpit. This means checking the SAP BTP dashboard for any warnings or issues with your applications and services. For example, if your application's memory usage is too high, an alert appears. Regularly reviewing these alerts helps you maintain a healthy and stable cloud environment. Confirm the application is working normally. This means checking that your deployed app is accessible and functions as expected without errors. For instance, after deploying a sales report app, you would open it in a browser to ensure it loads and displays data correctly. This final verification ensures your solution is ready for use. Check that metrics return to expected levels. This means confirming that key performance indicators, like response times, are back to normal after any fixes. For instance, if your app was slow and you optimized it, verify it now responds quickly again. Ensuring this confirms your solution is working as intended. Wait a few minutes to ensure stability. This means allowing time for the system to settle and confirm all components are running without issues. For instance, after deploying an app, you'd wait to see if it remains accessible and functional. This simple check prevents premature decisions and ensures reliability. Documenting the incident. Record what the problem was. This means clearly writing down the specific issue you encountered. For example, if a user reports they cannot log into the SAP system, document exactly that error. Accurate recording ensures the support team understands the situation immediately and can begin resolving it effectively. Note the steps you took to fix it. This means writing down each action you performed during troubleshooting. For example, if an app crashed, document that you first restarted it, then checked memory usage, and finally scaled resources. This creates a reliable record for future reference, saving time and preventing repeated work. Include any relevant dates and times. This means noting every specific date and time related to the issue. For example, if an error occurred on 10th October at 2:30 p.m. during a data import, document both. Precise timing helps in tracking and resolving problems efficiently. Save for future reference and learning. This means keeping a record of the incident so you can look back to understand what happened and prevent it from recurring. For example, if a service fails, document the error details and solution steps. This practice builds a valuable knowledge base for your team. Practice scenario: high memory usage. Alert: memory usage above 90%. This means your application is consuming nearly all available memory, which can cause slowdowns or crashes. For example, a shopping cart processing thousands of items might exceed its memory limit and stop responding. Always monitor memory to ensure smooth and reliable application performance. Check which application is using the most memory. This means identifying the specific app consuming the highest RAM in your BTP space. For instance, a data processing service might use excessive memory during peak loads, slowing others. This check is your first step to troubleshoot and optimize performance. Review recent deployments or changes. This means checking any new applications or updates you've made, as they can unexpectedly increase memory demand. For example, after deploying a new app, it might use more memory than planned, causing issues. Always investigate recent changes first to quickly identify the source of high memory usage. Consider scaling up memory or optimizing the app. This means either increasing the memory allocation for your application or improving its code to use memory more efficiently. For instance, If a shopping cart app slows down during peak sales, it may need more memory to handle increased traffic. This approach ensures your application remains performant under load. Practice scenario: application errors. Alert: increased error rate in logs. This means your application is failing more often than usual, which you can detect by monitoring system logs. For example, a shopping cart might start failing frequently during checkout, frustrating customers. Addressing this promptly ensures application reliability and a better user experience. Access application logs in the cockpit. This means using the SAP BTP dashboard to view detailed records of your app's activity and errors. For example, if your employee portal fails to load, you check these logs to find the specific cause. This direct access is essential for quickly diagnosing and fixing issues. Look for error patterns or codes. This means systematically reviewing error logs to identify recurring issues or specific error identifiers. For example, if your application frequently logs a 404 not found error, it indicates a recurring issue with missing resources or incorrect URLs. Consistently applying this approach helps quickly diagnose and resolve application problems. Check dependent services and connections. This means verifying that all external services your app relies on are running and accessible. For instance, if your app fails to send email, ensure the mail service is online and your app's connection details are correct. Confirming these dependencies resolves many common issues efficiently. Key takeaways from today's presentation. Recognize common alert patterns quickly. This means learning to spot recurring issues in your SAP BTP system alerts. For example, if you repeatedly see a memory usage spike just before performance slowdown, you can identify it as a pattern. Mastering this skill allows you to resolve problems before they escalate and impact users. Follow a step-by-step approach to troubleshoot. This means systematically checking each part of your application or service instead of guessing. For example, if an app will not start, first verify its dependencies, then check the logs, and finally review its configuration. This method ensures you identify and resolve issues efficiently and reliably. Use the SAP BTP cockpit for monitoring and logs. This means you can check the health and activity of your applications in real time. For example, if your app is slow, you can view logs to identify errors. This tool is essential for maintaining reliable and efficient operations. Always document your actions and results. This means keeping a clear log of what you do and the outcomes, like a diary for your work. For example, when deploying an app, note the steps taken and any issues resolved. This practice ensures you can track progress and troubleshoot effectively, making your projects more manageable and successful. You are ready to troubleshoot. You can identify and analyze monitoring alerts. This means you can spot system warnings and understand their causes. For example, if an alert shows high memory usage, you'll check which app is consuming excess resources. Mastering this skill keeps your SAP BTP solutions running smoothly and efficiently. You know how to apply basic fixes. This means you can execute simple, standard solutions to resolve common system issues without needing deep technical investigation. For instance, if a user reports a login failure, you would first check and reset their password. This foundational skill allows you to quickly restore normal operations. Keep practicing with real scenarios. This means regularly solving actual problems you might face, not just theoretical exercises. For example, if a user cannot access an app, trace the roles in SAP BTP to find the missing assignment. This hands-on experience builds the skills and confidence needed for effective troubleshooting. Your skills will grow with experience. This means the more you practice troubleshooting, the better you will become at solving problems. For instance, when a cloud integration flow fails, you will learn to check logs and dependencies faster each time. Every issue you resolve builds your expertise.